Hey everyone, welcome back to Byte Sized AI, the podcast where we cut through the hype and get straight to the facts on artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Michael C. Barnes, and today we're tackling one of the hottest and most anxiety inducing topics out there: AI's real impact on jobs. We've all seen the headlines: Google laying off staff, Oracle slashing thousands, CEOs pointing to AI as the reason. But is AI actually replacing these workers, or is something else going on? One source I read claimed Oracle just laid off around 20,000 people, not because AI took their jobs, but to pour billions into data centers for the AI boom. Meanwhile, the broader economy shows a growing workforce, not a shrinking one. So what's the truth? Joining me as always is my co-host and our resident fact finder, Randolph Hill. Randy, great to have you back. Walk us through this. Michael asked the questions, you drop the facts. Let's start with the big examples everyone's talking about.
Thanks, Michael. Happy to be here. You're spot on. The narrative is loud, but the data tells a more nuanced story. Let's break it down with real numbers from early 2026. First, Oracle. Yes, they began massive layoffs in late March 2026. Reports from TD Cowen and multiple outlets put it at 20,000 to 30,000 jobs, roughly 12 to 18% of their global workforce of about 162,000. But here's the key. This wasn't AI replacing roles like coders or support staff overnight. It was a deliberate cash flow move. Oracle is pouring tens of billions. They raised $45 billion in debt and equity recently, with CapEx jumping from 6.9 BLNs to 2024 to over 21 BLNs to 2025 and projections nearing 50 BLNs this year into massive AI data center buildouts. They're powering workloads for clients like OpenAI, xAI, Meta, NVIDIA, and others. Analysts estimate the layoffs will free up $8 to $10 billion to fund that infrastructure push. They're simultaneously hiring AI engineers, data center technicians, and cloud architects. It's classic reprioritization, cut in traditional areas to invest in the AI gold rush.
Whoa, so it's not AI took your job, it's we're betting the farm on AI infrastructure and need cash now. That matches what I read, but Google, they've had rounds of cuts too. Is it the same story?
Similar pattern, but not identical. Google Alphabet has done targeted layoffs in 2025, 2026. Estimates put recent cuts in the low thousands in areas like global business units, some management layers. They cut about 35% of certain manager roles with small teams, and even some AI contractor roles. CEO Sundar Pichai has framed it around efficiency and becoming more AI first. But again, it's not widespread replacement by current AI tools. Many cuts are restructuring for agility, fewer layers, faster decisions, while the company ramps up AI investments heavily. Broader tech saw about 180,000 plus cuts in 2025, but only a tiny fraction, around 1% in some surveys, were directly attributed to AI doing the work. Harvard Business Review analysis from early 2026 found companies are cutting in anticipation of AI's potential, not because it's performing the jobs at scale yet. Only about 2% of cuts were because AI was already doing the task.
Okay, so companies are using AI as cover for cost cutting and future proofing. But the big fear is mass unemployment. You mentioned the economy shows a growing workforce. Back that up. What do the real numbers say?
The facts are reassuring in the short to medium term. U.S. unemployment has stayed low and stable, around 4.2 to 4.5% into 2026. The workforce itself is expanding, not shrinking. BLS and other data show job growth continuing, with AI-exposed occupations often growing faster than average. For example, AI and data center buildouts created roughly 119,900 direct jobs in 2024 alone, 8,900 plus in AI DevOps roles, and over 110,000 construction jobs from data centers, plus multipliers. That's dwarfing the 12,700 AI-attributed losses that year. Studies from ITIF, Vanguard, and others in late 2025 show AI-exposed jobs growing 1.7% post-COVID, faster than pre-COVID, while non-exposed slowed. BLS projections through 2033 have software developers up 17.9%, database roles up 8 to 10% plus, faster than average. PwC and MIT analyses, AI is reshaping 50-55% of jobs more than eliminating them. It augments productivity, creates new demand, legal AI tools boosting legal jobs by 6%, for instance, and new roles like AI engineers are among the fastest growing on LinkedIn.
This flips the script. So the AI is coming for your job panic. Is it overblown? Companies reprioritizing capital toward data centers and AI infra while the economy adapts and creates more roles than it loses?
Exactly. The truth is a mix. AI will automate tasks and reshape work. Think 10-15% of jobs potentially vulnerable over 4 or 5 years per BCG models, but history shows tech creates net jobs over time. Right now, in 2026, it's more about companies reallocating resources than wholesale replacement. Oracle's move is a textbook case. Humans aren't being swapped for chatbots. Budget is shifting to the physical and compute backbone AI needs. The growing workforce numbers prove it. AI is fueling expansion in construction, engineering, data science, and entirely new fields. The risk isn't mass layoffs from AI taking over. It's failing to upskill or adapt while competitors do.
That's a critical distinction, Randy. So it's less about AI doing the job and more about AI enabling the job, or parts of it, more efficiently, which then demands different skill sets or entirely new roles. It sounds like we're in a period of intense transformation rather than outright destruction.
Precisely. Consider the rise of prompt engineers or AI trainers. These roles didn't exist a few years ago, but they're critical now for making AI tools perform optimally. Or think about data center construction. These aren't just jobs for IT professionals. They involve electricians, plumbers, construction managers, security personnel. The ripple effect is massive and often overlooked when we focus only on the AI will replace X narrative.
Right? The sheer physical infrastructure needed to support these models is mind-boggling. And that's not just a short-term boom either. These centers need maintenance, upgrades, and constant monitoring. So it's not just building them, it's sustaining them. And then you have the energy requirements. That's another industry seeing significant growth as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. The demand for green energy solutions, efficient cooling systems, and grid infrastructure is skyrocketing due to these data centers. Every new AI model, every complex query requires massive computational power, and that power needs to come from somewhere. This creates jobs in renewable energy, power engineering, and even in specialized hardware development. It's a complex ecosystem of job creation.
So if someone's listening right now and feeling that familiar dread, thinking my job involves XYZ tasks, and I've seen AI do something similar, what should their mindset be? Should they just give up, or is there a pathway forward for virtually everyone?
Method full. Think about the rise of personal computers. Many feared secretaries would be obsolete. Instead, they became executive assistants, managing more complex tasks, using new software, and seeing their roles expand. AI is a tool, a very powerful one, but it's a tool. Learning how to leverage it to enhance your productivity, creativity, and problem-solving skills will be key. Focus on tasks that require human judgment, empathy, critical thinking, and complex strategy, areas where AI still struggles or is simply not designed to operate.
That makes so much sense. It reminds me of the early days of the internet. People worried about brick and mortar stores, but then we saw the rise of e-commerce specialists, digital marketers, logistics experts. Entire new fields emerged. Is this AI revolution just another faster iteration of that same historical pattern?
In many ways, yes. Each major technological leap, from the printing press to the Industrial Revolution to the internet, caused significant disruption and fear, but ultimately led to a net increase in jobs and a higher standard of living. The difference with AI is its pervasive nature and speed. It's impacting cognitive tasks much more directly than previous revolutions, which primarily automated manual labor. So the shift is happening higher up the skill chain, if you will.
That's a crucial point, cognitive tasks. So jobs that rely heavily on repetitive mental processes, data entry, basic content generation, routine analysis, these are the ones most likely to see significant augmentation or even automation. But even there, it's often augmentation first, right?
Absolutely. Take a financial analyst. AI can quickly process vast data sets, identify trends, and generate preliminary reports. This doesn't eliminate the analyst. It frees them up to do higher-level strategic thinking, client interaction, and nuanced interpretation that AI can't provide. Or a writer. AI can draft an outline or even a first pass, allowing the human writer to focus on creativity, voice, and emotional resonance. It shifts the what of the job, not necessarily the who.
So it's less about the AI taking over and more about the AI taking on the grunt work, leaving the more human, creative, and critical elements for us. That's actually quite empowering if you frame it that way. It could lead to more fulfilling work in many cases, couldn't it?
Potentially, yes. By offloading monotonous, repetitive tasks, AI can allow professionals to focus on the truly strategic, creative, and interpersonal aspects of their roles. This could lead to greater job satisfaction and, ironically, reinforce the value of uniquely human skills. The challenge, of course, is ensuring everyone has access to the training and resources to make that transition effectively.
And that brings us to the societal responsibility, I guess. It's not just on individuals to adapt, but on governments, educators, and companies to provide those pathways. Are we seeing any significant initiatives in that area yet?
We are, but it's nascent. Many governments are funding AI literacy programs and vocational training for AI-adjacent roles. Companies are investing more in internal upskilling programs for their existing workforce, recognizing that it's often more cost-effective to retrain than to continuously hire from a rapidly evolving external market. Universities and online platforms are seeing a surge in enrollment for data science, AI ethics, and cloud computing courses. It's a collective effort, but the scale of the challenge means there's still a lot more to do.
So for our listeners who might be in fields that are currently AI exposed, to use your earlier term, what concrete advice would you give them today beyond just upskill? Where should they even start?
Great question. First, understand the AI tools relevant to your specific industry. Don't be afraid to experiment with them. Second, identify which parts of your job are repetitive and could potentially be automated, and proactively explore how AI could help with those. Third, focus on developing soft skills, communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, creativity. These are inherently human and incredibly valuable. Fourth, networking within the AI community or adjacent fields can open doors to new opportunities or insights. Finally, keep an eye on emerging roles. The landscape is changing fast and new needs are constantly appearing.
That's fantastic, actionable advice. It sounds like the key message here is agency, not helplessness. You have control over how you navigate this. It's not a wave to be drowned by, but a current to learn to swim with. And that's actually quite reassuring given all the doomsday predictions we often hear.
Exactly. The media loves a dramatic headline, but the reality is usually more complex and, frankly, more hopeful. The economy is dynamic. Jobs are not static entities. They evolve. We're witnessing a major evolution, not an extinction event for human labor.
Powerful stuff. So for listeners worried about their jobs, the real answer isn't fear, it's adaptation. Learn to work with AI, focus on roles AI can't replicate, creativity, complex judgment, human connection, and watch for those new opportunities in the AI economy. Randy, any final fact to leave them with?
One stat that sticks. For every job AI has displaced so far, it's created about 9x more in supporting infrastructure and new tech. The workforce isn't shrinking, it's evolving. Stay curious, keep learning.
Love it. That's Byte Sized AI, truth over headlines. Thanks, Randy. Folks, drop your questions in the comments or on our socials. What job do you think AI will reshape next? Subscribe, rate us, and we'll catch you in the next Byte.